Welcome, and today we're going to be talking about what it takes to start a movement. When I started writing the Tao of Influence, ancient wisdom for modern leaders and entrepreneurs, I actually thought about movements and how important they are to the world, because now more than ever we want to believe in something. We want to believe that the world is actually shifting quickly as it needs to in many areas. And so if you've ever thought about starting a movement or maybe becoming involved in a movement, I just want to share with you 5 things that I feel are really essential to be able to get it off the ground and to be able to sustain it. So the first thing is, every movement has a leader, but that leader needs to represent the movement internally, not just externally. So what I mean by that is, if you as the leader or someone else as the leader is constantly irritated inside, then the movement itself is going to have a lot of people who are irritable, who are angry, and who do things that might be even considered aggressive and violent. You see, when you look at Gandhi and his movement, he really developed over time, wasn't immediate, but developed a sense of inner peace that then was reflected later on in the movement. So ask yourself, if I'm going to be the leader of a movement, what is it inside me that needs to shift, that needs to change so that you and the movement are aligned energetically? Another thing is asking for help. Because movements are so big and so vast, we often get overwhelmed with all the things that need to be done to really make this take off. And so you have to start writing things down and reflecting. Where am I not willing to ask for help? Where am I hesitating, either internally or in the things that I'm doing externally, that show that I'm not really doing everything I can to receive the support that's necessary? Also, you can write down all the roles. What are the roles of different people that need to support this movement? And why do they want to get involved? What is the big why that everyone can get involved in? Because as the leader, if you're the only one who believes in the why, there isn't going to be a movement. So we need to get really clear on the messaging, not only for the world as you share it, but the messaging for the people who want to support this movement. Are they able to articulate in their minds why they're doing this? Because the heart is where all movements start. And you need to be able to touch people's hearts first before we ever get to the head. So one way to touch the heart is through story, sharing your story. What is it about your story that led you to this movement? What is it about their story that is leading them to support this movement? So all of this is built around the personable aspect of people's lives through the telling of a story. Another thing you might want to consider is, who is going to be the spokesperson for this movement? It may not be you. You might think that that you have to do it, but in fact, there are many beautiful people that are willing to support you that would be powerful spokespeople for the movement. And so finding those people, and perhaps it's you and others who go about into different countries and different regions, and on YouTube and different video platforms, TEDx as an example. I help people do TEDx talks, and I know that a lot of movements have actually been initiated through TEDx. So ask yourself, if you could list 5, maybe 10 people that could support you in getting the message out into the world. Yes, there is often one core leader, but nowadays, with the spread of video going viral, I think it's important that your movement be represented by more people. and getting them on board to be the spokesperson for a particular message in the overall vision of the movement. And then last, I always say that my business success and many people that I know, their business success is because whenever you don't know how to do something, you need to go to the person who's doing it really, really well. And a person of integrity, a person that you can align with vibrationally. And you go and you ask that person, you seek them out. If you can't get a hold of them, then one of the people that's part of their movement, you talk to them and you say, so what are the things that I need to know as I'm building this? What are some of the mistakes that people often make in terms of the effectiveness of the movement? And ask those kinds of questions. Ask about delegating, ask about internal turmoil that can come up, because we're all human and we do all have an ego. So finding out both the internal world and the external world of a movement is critical in terms of starting it. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and click the bell button next to it for notifications on upcoming videos. And also have a whole section on movements in my book, The Tao of Influence. And that can be found on KarenMcGregor.com.